there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking love and marriage, Huntsville. You guys know why you are here. So like I've said in other videos, again, rest in peace to Kiki. Thoughts and prayers to her loved ones and the people closest to her and all of the things. Before I get into some things that I need to say in this video. Also, I believe, before I get into what I want to say, that some of you need to rewatch seasons 1, seasons 2, and seasons 3 to find out who really brought who on the show, who really was being petty and messy towards others, who really was being utilized so that certain people would fall in line and stay on their side. Because it seems that people have amnesia, you guys, or weren't watching the show then, or because that doesn't support the narrative that you're trying to manipulate right now, you don't mention it. But we're going to talk about it. So, and in this video, because I'm a little agitated and I'm tired of the lies and the hypocrisy that's taking place in the gaslighting and manipulation, but is there really a such thing against certain people that are requesting privacy and silence during this difficult time, but also seem to be the same sources that is providing all this information and providing all these details about what is or isn't going on since Kiki's passing? And I'm just trying to understand, how is this respectful? How is this honoring being private and being quiet if every single thing that is taking place is literally coming from certain people to push out certain narratives? Where is, the privacy there? Where's the discretion there? Or is the please respect our privacy at this time really code for, hey, you could talk about it as long as you don't drag me? Even though technically you have a reason to drag me, right? But I've never seen, so much people demanding privacy, but are able to let people know what allegedly happened to Kiki, are allegedly able to FaceTime people from the funeral. But I thought this was about Kiki. Or is it more about who had access to information about surrounding the funeral, surrounding everything that's taking place, and surrounding who from the cast did or didn't attend the funeral, who from the cast did or didn't send condolences, who from the cast did or didn't pay for the funeral? How do you guys know all this information if it's supposed to be private? How are you grieving and distraught, but also have time to give a daily update of what is or isn't happening? Like, I need it to make sense, you guys. And then the tip of the iceberg, of course, is what Funky Dineva did the other day, which is just flat out making an accusation, but presenting it as if, he knows for sure, because he keeps mentioning the people that he's close to from the Love and Marriage Huntsville sector and the cast, that would basically have somebody put 2 and 2 together that, why are you pushing this so hard? Why do you keep mentioning this in your video if you claim these are your thoughts and your opinions? Even if it's flat out wrong, even if it's flat out baseless, even if it's flat out inappropriate, even if it's flat out, callous and disgusting to even put out there. But I'm just trying to understand for myself, what does please respect our privacy mean at this time to you? Because I thought, to me, it would mean, please be quiet. Please do not say anything. But apparently it means that if you were one of the people who were not kind to Kiki when she was here, if you were one of the people who dragged her while she was here, if you were one of the people who were not on good terms with her during her last, few months or whatever, I guess now is time for the PR campaign, right? Now it's time for us to completely erase history. Now it's time for us to completely pretend that nothing has happened at all. Nobody has said anything derogatory or disgusting at all. But you seem to have the information of all of the details. And I'm just trying to understand what privacy is taking place, you guys. Because it would seem to me it's a violation of privacy. If all these details keep coming out. If there's text messages, if there's people being FaceTimed from a funeral. I think, a month or so ago, was at a 5-hour funeral, you guys. And not one person was on the phone FaceTiming somebody from the funeral. I've never seen or heard anything like that before, you guys. Because I would think that the only reason somebody would be on their devices at a funeral is if, they wanted to partake in the live stream or whatever, right? Or for some reason, if there's a family member, somebody running late or is, trying to get there or whatever, that's one thing. But not to flat out just be on FaceTime to prove that you're at the funeral, or to be on FaceTime to prove, a certain narrative about what the relationship of the family is or isn't. I thought it's about honoring your loved one. I thought it's about paying respects to your loved one. I thought it's about being so distraught and having a difficult time about your loved one that you don't have time for all these daily and hourly and minute and second updates on things. But are the first ones to call out other people, are the first ones to try to place blame on the show or try to place blame on another cast member. And you're the main one feeding all the information to the people. The people that you're accusing of being the issue aren't talking. The people you're accusing that are responsible, quote unquote, even though you don't have that information to be fact, since Kiki hasn't been on the show in months, hasn't filmed the show in months, rather, since the show just came back in May, but nonetheless, you don't have that information. But it's easy to flip things around when you want to be seen as looking good. When you want to be seen as, somebody who is a good person, is upstanding and all these things. But what is upstanding, you guys, about revealing private details every single day, every single hour? And, claiming that, everything, it's so horrible, things are so wrong, and blah, 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 blah. But I don't need to know any of this information. It's not my business. If somebody tells me, hey, I want things to be private at this time, I'm going to respect that, which is why I didn't do any videos until I decided to drag Funky Dineva, because it was completely insensitive what he did. But now I have to hear from other people now who I guess want to make it known that they're in communication with the family, who want to make it known, who want to show receipts, that they're literally, either having DMs or text messages or whatever with the family to prove something. And my question is, why? What are you achieving by doing this? Like I don't understand why we have to go through this. Why there is a smear campaign on one end of certain people, but the same people who are pushing that smear campaign are also feeding information to people to put out there every day about details that they would claim to have known or have been close to the situation to reveal. So how is it that I'm supposed to take any of this seriously? How is it I'm supposed to, quote unquote, respect people's privacy if information keeps getting leaked every day? If there's no discretion at all? I'm just trying to put it together as to why there is so much drama right now. And drama as far as people wanting to twist this around and make it about something it's not. Drama as far as people making false accusations and conspiracy theories against people. And all of these things. and want to point the fingers at people who are not responsible. But we're supposed to sit here and be quiet, right? We're supposed to sit here and be quiet, respect privacy, and da-da-da-da-da, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. But the same people requesting it, how is all this information getting out? Why is it important for certain people to put out there whether or not they attended the funeral? Why is it important for certain people to put out there whether or not they were close at Kiki at the time of her passing? And then have other people come out and refute that information, who also claim to be close to the same people requesting privacy at this time. Like, I'm just trying to make it make sense. Because if you want privacy, we can give you privacy. But it seems you don't want privacy because you definitely want somebody to be your spokesperson, to tell the people what's going on, to reveal the details of when and where the funeral is. It's one thing that you want to, say, hey, we're having a, balloon celebration for Kiki on Saturday, and we're going to have a private funeral on Monday. But how did private turn into, here is all the details of the funeral, and people can come if they would like? What? I thought you just wanted it private to family and immediate family and loved ones and everything else only. And close friends only. So why is it publicly being broadcasted? If you truly want privacy, if you truly want things to be private, and this is my issue, you guys. Don't talk to me about people who are being fake or who are lying or who are being hypocrites or who need to place blame on X, Y, and Z. But there's all this nefarious stuff going on behind the scenes. There's all this chatter going on behind the scenes. There's all this tea apparently being spilled behind the scenes that certain people are filtering out. But the same people are also using that opportunity to bash somebody else that has nothing to do with the situation. I don't know if you guys watched Jay Lee's Corner. She did a nice video. I believe it was today, because I saw it today, regarding the Funky Dineva situation. And she brought up a good point regarding Funky Dineva's comments about Kiki, quote unquote, going to the dark side, right? And she made the point that Kiki didn't just join the show, you guys. Mel didn't just bring her on the show. She's been on this show. And I haven't seen anybody mention this. Kiki has been on this show in the earlier seasons. It was okay. Her and her cousin were cool then. Because it was being utilized for, whatever issues at the time was going on between Letitia and Kimmy. Because they weren't, on good terms in these earlier seasons. And, Kiki was brought on as well as Letitia's mom to fight her battles. But for some reason, people have amnesia. Or people don't watch the show like they claim to. Or it doesn't fit the false narrative and the lies that you want to put out there about somebody. And I think she's the only person I saw that mentioned that. Because it didn't make sense, the vitriol that's taking place right now. It didn't make sense that people are turning us into, people aren't really upset about what Funky Dineva said. They're upset that he dragged Mel. What? I don't think some people watched the entirety of the 7.5 minute rant that Funky Dineva did about somebody that he claims that he doesn't like, he doesn't see it for, has dragged on previous occasions, but had nearly 8 minutes to just completely bash somebody and make false accusations against them and presenting them as facts. What does that have to do with Mel? But there were some blatant comments there that can be implied that was also inappropriate, that had nothing to do with anything, which would again speak to the bias. Because you kept promoting the people you had relationships with anytime you said something disgusting that you knew was too far. But everybody wants privacy at this time, you guys. Everybody wants privacy. But it's okay, I guess, for certain information to come out. If it makes certain people look good. I guess that's okay. I guess it's okay to drag certain people if it takes the heat off of you. And my question to you is, how much longer are we going to pretend that you actually want privacy? Because it seems everything is indicating the opposite to me. It seems very much you don't want privacy. You just want positive press and positive PR. And that's not what this is about, you guys. If you're truly grieving somebody, if you're truly in mourning, if you're truly in shock and upset and everything else, why can't people follow the lead of the husband? Why can't people follow the lead of the children? But instead are making sure certain people have every single detail in existence since the passing of Kiki. And I just want to know why. If you're requesting privacy, if you're telling people to shut up, and the people that you're trying to drag and you're trying to insert in this have gone dark, have been quiet since the announcement Kiki passed. But somehow they keep getting brought up in every situation as slander and defamation, and the question is why? And are you really upset that there is people showing love to Kiki? Because here's the thing. You can be a human being and own, listen, pun intended, I may or may have not, said the nicest things or whatever, but hey, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to still wish condolences. I'm still going to wish the family and friends thoughts and prayers and everything else to the loved ones. But I'm not going to be disparaging or just use, whatever resources or platform I have to just flat out put out lies. Or flat out put out misinformation, or flat out put out clearly biased and misguided, direction to manipulate the situation into your favor. And that's where I have an issue. I don't have an issue with people who genuinely have been respectful, and those people know who they are. Who have genuinely been respectful, who have genuinely provided the updates that were actually provided via a news source or what have you. But I'm talking about the people who are utilizing this for nefarious reasons, are trying to insert God or trying to insert Christianity in scriptures, and then spilling tea, and then dragging other people, and trying to prove who's closest to who. And here's the thing, none of that matters. Because Kiki's not here. What did or didn't happen on the show, it doesn't matter because Kiki isn't here. But it seems people want to keep pushing this, which it seems now the people who support Funky Dineva have come out the bushes to also push that narrative. And the show has nothing to do with this, you guys. You guys want to talk about the show, but you don't want to talk about the times that Kiki and Letitia were on good terms on the show. You want to talk about the show, but you want to leave out the times that Kiki has revealed in interviews that there were times she reached out to production for assistance, that she didn't like the way certain things were going. And it was left on deaf ears. You want to talk about the show, and you all of a sudden, I didn't know a cast member now, what was the creator, was the executive producer, is in the control room, apparently, who's responsible for what we're going to see in each episode, even though they're not in half the episodes this season. But because something bad has happened, because something unfortunate and untimely has happened, now is the time to place blame. Now all of a sudden they have an escalated position, they have an executive position all of a sudden, and they just quote unquote, they're responsible for everything wrong that's happened. And the people making inappropriate comments, the people going on interviews, saying what their relationship wasn't with their relatives, saying what they, wished if there was a funeral that they wouldn't attend, and they didn't want them to attend their funeral, that somebody was DEAD to them. All of that's okay, I guess, right? All of that's okay, but you want to hit home, oh, who brought her on the show? Who's responsible to bring her on the show? Who's the op? Well, technically, if we're going to go with who brought her on the show, it's not who you think it is. Because that would have to indicate you've been watching the show since the beginning. And not just watching the show as it gains popularity, as it gained more traction on social media. Because that seems to be where a lot of the hot takes are coming from. Are people who have just tuned in through the show within the last couple of years and don't know the background and the backstory from season 1 to now, but want to claim to be the expert. Want to claim about people clout chasing, want to complain about YouTubers, content creators, but were the first people to run to content creators when they wanted a certain narrative out in the earlier seasons. Or when they saw an opportunity to capitalize off of Martell cheating on Mel. All of that was okay. But the same people now want to use this situation to do an image rehab. And my thing is, I thought you wanted privacy. But if you don't want privacy, just say that. Because myself and others were trying to be respectful and trying to be quiet and trying to shut the bleep up at this time. But I guess that's not what you want. I guess you want us to talk as long as it's not dragging you. And apparently it's okay with what Funky Dineva did, because I don't see anybody coming out, that's close to the people that Funky Dineva was bragging about that he's close with in that video multiple times. I don't see any of those people coming out and denouncing anything Funky Dineva said. And it's been more than 24 hours, you guys. And Funky Dineva, of course, didn't feel it was important to leave an apology or anything other. He's fine with what he said. And is sleeping well at night, apparently. As if some of the allegations he made in there, he hasn't struggled with himself. He hasn't gone through with himself. Apparently all that is, that doesn't fit the narrative, right? But I am tired, you guys, of the hypocrisy, of the fakery, of people doing the most and pretending that, they're above this all, that they're being, good people and all these things, but you're running your mouth. You're running your mouth, you're presenting like you're living the high life, like everything's all Gucci. And my thing is, what is the truth? Because why do I know all this information from the people who said this was supposed to be private? And that goes for everybody that's been out public speaking or speaking through a certain person or certain people. Across the board, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's whatever. But enough is enough with this fake outrage, you guys. And people pretending, to say one thing, but they're doing the complete opposite behind closed doors. But then want to get on their soapbox and want to claim moral superiority to others, want to claim that they're a better Christian than others and they're more godly than others. But this is nefarious. This is not godly. This is not Christian-like behavior. If you're literally, saying things that would appear to be Christian-like, but then saying the complete opposite after that. How is that working? How does that work out? So there's that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.